I still remember the moment my sister placed her newborn son in my arms at the hospital. His tiny fingers curled tightly around mine, his fragile chest rising and falling with every breath, and his little face scrunched up as if the brightness of the world outside his mother's womb was too overwhelming. His name was Ethan. From the start, there was something remarkable about him. Even though I had no way of knowing how deeply his path would shape my own life, I was there for so many of Ethan's early milestones, his first wobbly steps on my sister's worn living room carpet, his first simple words like ball and mama, and even his first day of preschool when he pressed himself against my leg, frightened of everything unfamiliar. I was his aunt, yes, but as the years passed, I became much more. I became the one he confided in, the person who listened without judgment. And sometimes the only place where he felt understood. My sister Emily raised him alone in our small town of Dayton, Ohio. His father had disappeared long before Ethan was born, leaving Emily to shoulder every responsibility on her own. She was strong, but even she needed support, and she often leaned on me, her younger sister, Sarah, to fill in the spaces where she couldn't be two parents at once. Ethan was bright, but he was also sensitive. Even as a child, he saw the world differently. While other kids ran wild outside, he preferred sitting quietly in his room, filling pages of his notebook with colored pencil drawings. He could stay lost in his imagination for hours. His teachers admired his talent but worried about his silence. "He doesn't participate much," one teacher told Emily during a conference. "He's kind but very reserved. Sometimes the other kids leave him out." As he grew older, the gap between him and the other kids became harder to ignore. In middle school, while most boys tried out for football or spent hours discussing video games, Ethan still carried sketchbooks everywhere, often eating lunch alone. I saw kids snickering at him in the cafeteria once when I came to pick him up, and my heart tightened. At home, when I asked him about it, he only shrugged and said, "I'm fine, Aunt Sarah, they just don't understand me." But I could see the hurt in his eyes. High school was even tougher. The teasing sharpened, turning into cruel remarks and whispered comments about how he wasn't normal. The pressure to fit in weighed heavily on him. Emily supported him as much as she could, but she was stretched thin, working long hours, paying bills, juggling everything alone. So Ethan drifted closer to me. He'd sit on my porch on warm Ohio evenings, the thick summer air around us, talking about how invisible he felt. "Sometimes I wonder if I'll ever belong anywhere," he said once, his voice barely above a whisper. Those words shattered me. I took his hand and told him what I truly believed. "Ethan, the world doesn't always understand people who are different right away. But those differences are what make you extraordinary. One day, the very things that make you stand out will be the things people admire most." He didn't respond, but I knew he heard me. Everything began to change during his sophomore year. The school organized an art exhibition, and one of his teachers, someone who believed in him, encouraged him to submit his work. Ethan was anxious, his hands shaking as he pinned his drawings onto the display boards. "What if they laugh at me?" he whispered while I stood beside him during setup. I rested a hand on his shoulder and said, "What if they don't? What if they finally see what I see?" That evening, as families wandered through the halls, something unexpected happened. People stopped in front of Ethan's display. They didn't just glance and leave. They paused. They studied. Parents leaned closer to read the little notes he had written. Students who had never spoken to him stared in awe. His art wasn't just drawings, each piece told a story, full of emotion and detail, revealing entire worlds only he could imagine. One piece, a young boy at the edge of a glowing forest, seemed to capture universal feelings: fear, hope, longing. I heard people whisper, "Who made this?" And when they noticed his name, their expressions shifted. By the end of the night, Ethan's face glowed in a way I had never seen. For the first time, he felt truly seen. While driving home, he looked over and said, "Maybe I really do belong somewhere." From then on, something inside him changed. High school wasn't suddenly easy, but he carried himself differently. He joined the art club, entered contests, and gradually made friends who appreciated him. He even began teaching himself digital design, spending hours using my computer to explore new tools. When he graduated high school, he wasn't the quiet, overlooked boy anymore. He was confident, focused, and ready for whatever was next. Emily cried as he crossed the stage to receive his diploma. And I cried too, mourning the boy he had been and celebrating the man he was becoming. College took him farther away. He was accepted into an art program at a university in Chicago. At first, Emily and I worried. Would he adjust to the big city? Would he find his place among so many people? But he flourished. He called us often, his voice full of excitement as he talked about projects, professors who pushed him, and classmates who inspired him. One day he told me, "Aunt Sarah, I think I finally found people who understand me."